Hey guys, day 7 here. Day 7 here? No. AbCT here with day 7. 7 here, well that's embarrassing. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, you will notice I'm framed a little differently. I'm leaning my phone on a smaller box for a start, and I've had a massive room change around, which you will actually get to see if I could ever remember. Actually in about 2 weeks. So I will show off my room because I'm doing a room tour video in about 2 weeks. So you guys get to share that. Today, let's focus on today's video, however, because today is day 7. I've managed a full week. I'm impressed. And that's not even me being sarcastic with that last part. I genuinely am impressed. Today, right, I'll reverse that. Go back. I am a conspiracy theorist. I am a massive conspiracy theorist. I believe conspiracy theories involving politics and celebrity and music and films and everything like that. And I could probably do a 30-day video marathon just on my favourite conspiracy theories. But you guys would get bored very quickly. So for today's video, I'm going to do only 3, which are my top 3 video game conspiracies. These are, 2 of these are kind of, yeah, everyone knows. One of these is really quite out there, so I want to kind of warn people on that. The last one will be the out there one, whereas the other 2 are quite well-known conspiracy theories. One has recently been debuffed, but I'm still going to include it because I started writing down. Anyway, so from here on in, spoiler, S-P-O-I-L-E-R, spoiler! Because I'm not getting in trouble if I spoil you guys. And I know you guys don't actually... Why am I tilted in such a weird way? Sorry, guys. I know you guys wouldn't like me to, like, really kind of ruin anything. So I will tell you each game as I start the conspiracy, well, as I start my theory. If you haven't played the game, then just skip. If you have played the game, please don't skip and just listen to what I have to say. And here we go. Like I said, I'm only doing 3 today, but I have plenty more if you ever want to talk about it. Like I said, I'll include all my social crap below so you guys like get used to seeing that. I mean, you're probably bored of seeing that. Like I say, if you want to tweet me, leave a message on my Tumblr, friend me on Facebook and we can have a chat, message me here on YouTube, whatever. You want to discuss anything, I'll be really happy to, because I'm a chatterbox. Anyway, right, so on to today's 3 conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory number 1 is from Devil May Cry 4. Personally, I say this is the exact middle ground for Devil May Cry games for me. I have a really weird system. Well, I have a really weird like line of how I decide how I feel about Devil May Cry games, and everyone says I'm wrong, but I don't care. It's my line, which is 3 spin-off 4 1 2. Yeah, I did say that the spin-off was, and like the non-canon one was actually one of my favourite ones. So I would like to apologise, but I'm not going to. My theory on this, the theory I'm going to use for this one is the whole, is Nero Virgil's son? Now the reason I still call this a theory is because no party has ever actually come forward to confirm yes or no. The evidence is clearly there. I mean, if you guys don't know, I'll quite happily now go into detail. Well, I'm going to go into detail anyway. But I figured I'd like share with you guys what the whole theory is. Now the theory is that when Nero gets Yamato in Devil May Cry 4, the muttering he says about needing to protect someone, needing to protect her, and needing to protect him is not Nero actually speaking. It's the memories of Virgil that's been, I don't know, trapped inside Yamato or trapped inside the Devil Trigger, that is speaking about Nero. And this would, now, it is heavily implied, because he's the only other one who can wield Yamato, that Nero is in fact a spider lineage child. Given the fact that obviously come 4, we've already had 3, which has dealt with Virgil one which has dealt with Nilo Angelo, who we also discover is Virgil, because Virgil forced to work for Mundus. As I say, personally, in my opinion, I do believe that Nero is the son of Virgil. Like I say, he can wield Yamato. His DT looks exactly like Virgil does in DT. Actually, it looks a little bit more polished because obviously better graphics, etc., so on and so forth. And the fact that he can wield Yamato. Now, a lot of people have said that Nero could very well actually simply be a third brother. But the issue with that is the fact of Nero is so much younger than Dante in Devil May Cry 4. Again, another thing that people bring up is the fact that Nero wielded Yamato in the arm, in like his Buster arm, in like his Demon Buster arm. So everyone's saying it's not actually him wielding it; it's the demon in the Buster arm. I personally think that's crap. Like I said, we're not given much information about Nero really at all. Admittedly, everyone stopped carrying just as soon as you could play as Dante. Everyone was happily just back at Dante, and it was another Devil May Cry game. We don't know anything about his mother. We don't know anything really about like his adoptive father. And like I say, the big thing is that Virgil is apparently Nero's biological son. Nero is Virgil's biological son. Like I say, I personally agree with this theory. I think it's... Sorry guys, I've got an itchy ear. I think it's a very apt and a very sensible theory. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on all of it. Like I say, if you guys want to link anything that makes me shut up and makes me look bad, feel free, because hey, anything that makes me look bad makes you look good. So yeah, but that's yeah. So that's theory number one. Theory number two is Final Fantasy VIII. Oh boy, this was recently actually this was, from what I learned today, actually cast off as nonsense. Like, the director has come forward and is like, the two main fan or conspiracy theories around this game are completely wrong. They're not true. Those are the two major theories were A, that obviously Squall is dead, and B, Rinoa is in fact Ultimecia. I don't know enough. Well, I don't feel I know enough appropriately to talk about the Rinoa being Ultimecia fan theory. However, I'm sure I will find evidence one day and I'll bring it up in another video. As for the Squall is dead theory, I know all about that. So, for those of you who don't know, at the end of Disc 1, and like I say, Final Fantasy VIII, spoiler, at the end of Disc 1, Squall gets hit by Idamicia? Altida? Whichever. Yeah, Squall gets ice sharded by Ultimecia using Ida's body. So we'll call it Ultimedia. There we go. Ultimedia. And he gets knocked off of the top of the big pride float. Now, the level that Ida's sitting at, that fall could have killed someone. And the fact that the ice is literally shown plunging straight through him is another big one. Is another possible hint that, that it was, that Squall was killed. That attack killed Squall. And then the rest of the theory goes that the rest of the game is not actually Squall. It's Squall's death dream. Squall dying and working through and fading out and kind of it's Squall going for doing the whole life flash before your eyes before you die kind of thing. And yeah, and the rest of it, because obviously you get the final bit, you get like during the final during the big FMV flash at the end, obviously you see a picture of Squall with no face. Now a lot of people believe that this is the sign of Squall crossing over, and like it's the fact of like Squall talks about like being spoken about, like Squall was this and Squall was that. Squall was like this, Squall was like that, and he throws a fit over it, and it's a big one. And he just goes completely off the rails. And like I say, a lot of people believe that from this 2 onwards, it's the party trying to go on, and like Squall appears to be the leader, Squall's not actually there. He's just viewing what they're seeing. Like I said, this was recently proven as garbage, and being honest, I agree. I do agree that this is garbage. I mean, there's some great evidence to support it. You've got the whole Renoa floating in space bit, and with the progenitor aliens. You've got the fact of Squall becomes less effective as a leader, despite the fact that he's given the position of commander. So a lot of people feel like it's a posthumous like accolade that they gave him, because he becomes less effective in the part, and the rest of the party learn to kind of step up to the plate, as it will, and go on with themselves, like go on with how things should be done. Also, Squall stopped being listened to by a large group of the like a large collection of the party. They don't listen to him the way they used to do, as like they did it during Disc 1, where he was final. He was like apt. He was final. It was his decisions and everything like that. And basically, the party kind of work with him rather than work for him. Basically, the long and the short of it is that basically they all just kind of get up and get on. And although Squall is still there in the game, obviously he's there kind of more like the guiding light and kind of focus force more than an actual person. I don't believe this is I don't believe this to be particularly true. The director of Final Fantasy himself rubbished it only today or yesterday. I'm not quite sure on which. And a lot of people are obviously just like, whatever. I'm ashamed. I'm sad that this isn't true, because I think it would have been a great kind of last twist in the game series. But having said that, I'm kind of glad that like Squall survives the whole thing. So yeah, so that's that one. And number 3, which is the doozy, which is the one that I found myself going, okay, seriously. 2 is that the entire Infamous game is a parallel to the LGBT community. This was interesting. It's kind of the LGBT, the civil rights kind of movement. Basically, I'm going to break it down really, really kind of small. The conduits are supposed to be a kind of reflection upon people who had been denied who up until like the last 100 or 110 years or so, people who were denied their civil rights, women, POC, the LGBT community, and people like that. I say a lot, sorry guys. And like the reason for why they attack people so much, and that is because of the fact that it's supposed to be a time of insurrection. It's a time of the rebellion. It's a time where those people started to get the equivalent rights. I personally think this is incredibly far-fetched. While I can see where they're coming from with it, and I can understand what they're trying to achieve and what they want in the direction they want to go with it, I don't believe that this is... While it's a parallel in the sense... of like people rise up, become leaders of those groups and so on and so forth, But then you could link that to X-Men. You could link that to you could even link that to something completely bizarre like the WWE about with the women's revolution that we had recently and stuff like that. You could pretty much shove the civil rights comment into literally everywhere and it would fit. So while I think it's a very interesting one, I don't personally believe that this is an acceptable... Someone's in the bathroom. That this is like a theory that sits well and that it works, and I just don't think that that's the direction they mean it in. I think they just meant it as a story more than anything else. But like I say, I could be wrong on all of these, and if I am, feel free to send me a link and I'll cry later and thank the person who gave me the link. Like I said, I could be completely wrong, but these are just my opinions. This is just what I think. This is just how I feel about these theories in particular. Like I say, I could be wrong, at which point I will accept that I'm wrong and I will address it whenever in whichever videos I find the evidence to. So those are my three favorite game theories. A game theory. I am actually subscribed to those guys and they are awesome. So those are my personal fan theories as far as those three games are concerned. Like I said, I could do a 30-day marathon on my favorite conspiracy theories, but I'm pretty sure you'd all get bored. Right, so that's today's video, guys. I'm sorry if I've been a little bit fast paced and fast voiced. It's just my phone is screaming at me lately because it doesn't like connecting to my Wi-Fi, which is really annoying. Anyway, guys, like I say, follow me down below. I'll include literally everything in there except Snapchat, because I don't use Snapchat. Find me a reason to use Snapchat and I'll use it. Until then, guys, stay safe. I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.